Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Liz here, and today I'm going to be bringing you the first portion of my life hack series. So when I say life hack, I really mean just things that will make your life easier in general. Just maybe something that you're already doing that I might have just like a twist that might make your life easier. From people I know personally in my life, my friends and my family, they always come to me about advice on certain topics because they think that, you know, I'm pretty well versed in those topics. I know a lot. I mean, I don't know everything, but I mean, I tend to obsess about having knowledge, so I know some stuff. So anyway, so with my life hack series, I'm going to focus mainly on personal finance. Personal finance, keeping a house, like a household, home decor, and just having a schedule for a home and your family, and also kids, so like mom hacks and, you know, just stuff along those lines. So finance, households, and kids / mom hacks. And that's the series for now. I hope to bring you plenty of life hacks. If there's any other thing that maybe you guys might want some advice on, you might just want to see if I know anything about, I'm always open. Just leave me a comment, say, hey, you know, could you do a video on this? And I'm more than open to share my knowledge. I really want to make this a forum where I can be able to like share my ideas and hopefully inspire other people out there. My real goal is to inspire. I really want to inspire. I know that there's a lot of moms out there who think it's impossible. There's a lot of young moms out there who think a lot of things are impossible, and it's not impossible to have everything you want and still be a mom and still be able to live your life, you know, and I truly believe in that. So hopefully I can, you know, help somebody else out there. Even if you're not a mom, you know, just be able to still achieve your goals. Don't ever think that the sky is the limit. Honestly, the sky is not the limit. People have gone beyond. So anyways, on to what today's video is about. So today I want to bring to you my 5 main tips for maintaining and improving your credit. First, if it's not high enough, you want to improve your credit. So that's number one. You do want to improve your credit, and then once you improve your credit, you want to make sure you maintain your credit. And personally, I'm a dork, so I have been obsessed with my credit since I turned 18. I have made it my mission and goal to have as great of a credit score as possible. So to me, that's always been like, yes, like this is what I'm gonna do. I've laid it out. I studied. I took personal finance classes and all that stuff when I was in high school. So by the time I turned 18, I was kind of already, you know, knowledgeable and what credit is, what credit can do for me. And I know being in America, you need credit. Like, you need credit in order to get anything, a house, a car, and honestly nowadays a job. I'm in the business world, so like employers will look at your credit. So I knew that, I knew that going into college. So like messing up with my credit was not what I wanted to do. And you know, I have some pretty great people in my life who, you know, kind of showed me the path of credit, and this is what you do to get credit, maintain credit, you know, make credit work for you so you can get the things that you really want in life. Okay, so I just wrote down my 5 top tips just to make sure I didn't miss anything, but I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna start with my first tip is pay all your bills right away. This has to be like the most important rule I've stuck to since I was 18. No matter what, when I get my paycheck, I pay my bills before anything else, because I love to shop, and I mean, don't we all? Like, I love to buy clothes and shoes and all that other stuff, but all that other stuff I don't need to really have the lifestyle I want. All that other stuff is kind of a plus, and that's how my mind thinks of it, which is the best way to go about it. So thinking that way, so now my mind thinks it's a plus, and now, so I already know the things that are necessities are my bills. Those are the things that I have to pay to have the lifestyle I want. So when I first started working as a teenager, my cell phone bill, that was really the only bill I had. I didn't have to pay my own cell phone bill before I started working, but when I started working, I wanted to upgrade my phone and get a better phone and have all this extra stuff. So that's when the iPhone, like iPhone 3 or something, when I was in high school. So I wanted to get that. My mom was like, you know what, like if you want to get your own phone, you know, I mean, and I thank the Lord for my mom for teaching me responsibility at such a young age. So she told me, like, you know, if you want to have your own phone, all of that, that's fine. I mean, she was able to keep it on her line, she didn't mind, but she said I had to pay my own bill. So I was like, oh, okay, I mean, that's fine. You know, what's like $60 to $80 a month? You know, I had no other bills, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get my phone, I'm gonna do what I want. And my sister sent me the money, thankfully, to buy the actual phone. Then I bought my phone, and then from then on, that was when I first started paying my first bill. I was 15 years old, and I was working at the supermarket, making maybe about $100 a week, and I was paying my phone bill for maybe $60 to $80 a month. And to me, that was, I mean, it was nothing, like, but that is the main rule. So that's when it all started from back then. Like, I would get my paycheck, I would make sure my cell phone bill was paid before I spend it on anything else. So even now, going into adulthood and adult life, right then and then now still, so when I get my paycheck, I go through and make sure all my bills have been taken care of that are outstanding, if I have any outstanding. And so I know, I mean, not everyone is fortunate enough to always make enough money to cover your bills all in one paycheck or something. So even before that, I would say, if you don't have enough money to cover all of your bills in one check, schedule the payments. Pretty much every bill can be paid online now, and you can schedule the payments to be taken out of your account right on payday. So I would normally do that as well. Like, if I know I'm going to be like have a super busy weekend, I know payday is coming up, something, I will just go ahead, or when I get a bill and I don't have the money yet, and I know payday is coming up in 2-3 days, I don't want to take that out now, I will just go ahead and schedule the payment. I will schedule the payment right for payday. I know I'm going to get paid. I know money's going to be in my account that day. So I just, why not just have the bill taken out, and I don't have to think about it again. So I schedule the payment, and then the bill is done with, and I don't have to like remember on payday, okay, let me go back and like pay this bill, do that. But usually, like, if I have free time on payday, I'm like OCD, so I will go and sign into all my accounts that have bills. So like my electric bill, my gas bill, you know, like any, like my cell phone bill, any kind of bill, credit card bills, any kind of bill I have, I will check on them to see if they have a balance that needs to be paid. Or like my student loans, if I have like no other balances to pay, I will just pay extra on stuff that are outstanding, like my student loans, because that's not going to go away for a while. So I would just pay extra. So like the extra $200-300 if I have no bills to pay. If I have no bills to pay at all during that pay period, I will just go ahead and send some extra to like my student loans. Okay, so that was tip number 1. Pay your bills right away, ASAP, 100% on time. Don't miss any payments. Just do it. Like, just do it. You will thank me later. When you see like 100% on-time payments, how much it's going to improve your credit score. Just do it. Okay, so tip number 2. I've kind of already said something about this in tip number 1, but always pay more than what's due if possible. So what I mean by that is, if you have a credit card that has a $5,000 limit and you spent $3,000, so but your minimum payment for this bill, all you have to do is pay $25 and you're okay. If you have more than $25, always pay more than $25. Don't just pay the minimum if there's more left on a credit card, a loan, or whatever. If you have more, pay more. So your car loan, your credit cards, your student loans, and anytime you have any extra cash, pay those loans, because those loans are only incurring interest every day. So I think of it as like, if I have an extra $10 today, should I spend $10 and pay off debt, or should I take that $10, maybe keep it for an extra day, and then I get charged maybe $3 in interest from that day from my debt? So it's like, I'd rather just give up the $10 and then that day I didn't pay any interest, kind of thing. But I mean, I never do just $10, but that's just an example. I'll usually, like I said, if I have no extra bills or anything to pay, and I've already put some money in my savings, and I will just go ahead and spend an extra $200-300 on my student loans or my car payments. Those are my 2 outstanding bills right now. So everything else, I keep up with my credit cards. I pay those off every month, and yeah, so that's really it for tip number 2. Tip number 2 is just always give more, give as most as you can, to your loans and your credit cards and anything that has a really high balance and a really low minimum payment, because the interest guarantee you is killing you every day. So anyways, piggyback off of that to tip number 3. Tip number 3, keep low balances on all your debt accounts. So like your credit cards, like same example, if you have a $5,000 credit limit, please don't use all $5,000 and let that sit there and pay the minimum. You're hurting your credit score so much by doing that. You want to make sure that you keep a low balance, ideally under 30% of what it is. So if your credit limit is $3,000, you want to make sure you have a balance of less than $1,000 at all times in that account. So just always pay your bills. Pay more, like I said, pay more than the minimum payment. Keep it under 30% utilized. Honestly, I like to keep mine under 20% just to be super safe. Like, I check my credit all the time, so when I see it go, if I see it go even a slight bit over 20%, I start looking like, okay, which account has the highest balances? Like, what can I pay off right now? Like, I don't like to see my credit score move in a downward direction. So even if it's like just 1 point from, I might have just made a large purchase. So say when I got my car, I paid more than 30% of it actually in cash, but still I got a pretty large loan added to my credit report. So, and that dropped my credit score, I think like 3 points for like a full month, and that had me panicking. I was like every day like checking my credit score, like, okay, what did I do? What can I pay off? What's gonna improve? But I mean, I'm totally, my credit score is fine. I'm totally dramatic. So tip number 4 is pay off your loans or credit or debt or whatever as quick as possible. That's just a given based off of everything else I've seen. The quicker you pay off your loan, the better it is for you, your credit score, your bank accounts, your everything. So if you quickly pay off your loan, you're going to pay a drastic less amount in interest. Like I said, every day interest incurs in accounts. So every day you don't have to pay that. I mean, that's money you save. So if you could pay off your loans quickly as possible, that would be best. At this point in my life, besides my student loans, I don't take out any other loans that I would not be able to pay off in a year. So I wouldn't recommend taking off a car that you wouldn't be able to pay off in a year. I wouldn't recommend you taking off any personal loans you wouldn't be able to pay off in a year. Any loans for any kind of reasons besides education. I honestly believe education loans can go a long way, so that's perfectly fine if you want to go back to school, and you know, school's expensive, so that's perfectly fine. But on any other front, I think that you should be way more careful about what you're loaning out to yourself. Interest rates are dangerous. They're extremely high. Sometimes you could pay just as much in interest as the actual loan. So you want to be careful and honestly just pay off everything as quick as possible, so you're paying just as much of the principal as possible quickly, so you don't incur so much interest. Okay, and finally, tip number 5. Tip number 5. So tip number 5 is, if your credit is really, really low right now, this is really for you. If you really want to improve your credit, this is what you need to do. Do not apply for anything that runs your credit for a year or 2 even. I would recommend 2. Don't run your credit. Do not apply for any loans. Do not apply for any credit cards. Do not apply for anything that's going to do a hard check on your credit report. Every time you get a check on your credit report, it's like a ding, and it reduces your score. So you don't really ever want to have more than 2 in 2 years. So like 1 a year is like normal. But if you already have bad credit and you've already had maybe 4 or 5 inquiries in the past 2 to 3 years, you want to just stop. Like, just stop. I know it's hard. You don't have credit. You want to improve your credit, everything, but you have to just take a break. You have to stop and just let your credit breathe, I guess. Like, it will improve even just a little bit just by you stop checking it with, like, you can use like all these credit sites now, like Credit Karma and all that say it's okay. That's okay. I personally use my Capital One I forget what they call it, but Capital One has like a credit check on it. So I personally, they just update it once every month or something, but I personally use that one, and I check my credit constantly, and that's a soft pull, so it doesn't affect you at all. But if you go to apply for something like a credit card, they will hard check your credit, and it will lower it by a few points. It will lower it by a few points every single time you have your credit checked. So you just want to keep that in mind, and just try your hardest not to have your credit checked unless you absolutely have to. And honestly, just don't do it. Like, if you can try and talk to them and say, hey, like, I'm trying to improve my credit, and you know, just don't do it. I have no other thing, but like, if you really want to improve, don't do it. And once you improve your score, make sure you stay to like 1 check a year. Like, you have to know what you really want. Don't go shopping around and having your credit being pulled. You want to be sure of what you want or what you're going for before you have your credit pulled. So those are really my 5 top tips to instantly, like, not instantly, but just drastically improve your credit. But it will dramatically improve it. Once you start following those steps within a few months, you will definitely see your credit score go higher and higher and higher. And I've practiced the same thing since I've been 18. My credit score has been amazing. I've honestly never got denied for any kind of credit application since I was 18. I financed my first car when I was 18. I've had a credit card since I was 18. I believe credit is important, but you have to work the system. You have to make sure your credit is great, because once you have bad credit, it is harder to get it higher. That I know. So you want to just make sure to maintain your credit once you do get it high enough. That's pretty much all I have for this little five tips to improving and maintaining your credit. And I know I mentioned I had a credit card at 18, so I was thinking maybe my next video is going to be how to obtain credit cards when you don't really have any credit or you have bad credit. So just ways, because you kind of need credit to improve your credit, and I kind of get all of that. So yes, so I think that's going to be my next video, just kind of how to obtain credit when your credit's low, when you don't really have credit. So I hope you guys, if you want to see more, you want to see the next video, just make sure you hit subscribe. Comment what you guys think. Leave me some of your tips on how you've improved or maintained your credit, or like stuff you do to make sure you maintain your credit. I'm not an expert, like I said. These are just my personal things. These are things I've learned along the way. But like I said, I've always maintained great credit. I've never been denied for a credit application, and this is just knowledge that I want to share with you, and I hope that you could share your knowledge back with me, and you subscribe for more. And that's all. I just want to say thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in my next video.